TvZ is on point today to take down what is going to be a gauntlet of Zergs for him, as we'll be moving through this bracket. We're currently in this is a round of 8 matchup, so we just did a semi-final, and yet this round of 8 matchup still hadn't started. So we do have to the top left-hand side our yellow Zerg player. It is Gametime. Gametime here is going to be playing against the blue Terran player bottom right-hand side, souL from OSC Elite, who took a little while to get through his section. I really don't know what was going on over in their section of the bracket, but something a little bit slow, honestly. Something a little bit slow, and which took a long time. As we do just see the initial double rack setup here from souL in the main base. Wow, what on earth are we going to see? This is new patch, a possibility for some interesting bits and pieces, but right away, 2 racks, gasless. Now into gas. Oh. Not sure how this is going to go. How interesting. How interesting. As you're going to see, this first barracks is about to finish up, and a Marine on the way out already. I mean, the second racks as well, so I'm just intrigued. I mean, obviously this leads into an expansion eventually, but what's the idea of going for 2 racks initially? Is it really to just apply pressure to walk across the map here? I mean, okay, you can hunt down the first Overlord pretty quick as well. Is that part of this? But then is there a follow-up attack which really justifies the second barracks so early and delaying the CC? Well, that's kind of the difficult part to figure out, I guess. As Overlord is on the way down to the south side from Gametime to see what's going on. This Marine starts to come over to the left-hand side, decides to come back over to the right. And you're just going to be seeing that Overlord is kind of close enough to high ground, though, to just get back up there and to not really be in any trouble. souL's now got his SCV on the low ground, ready to drop down the CC. Feelings on the way up from Gametime to start defending this. And still does 100 gas in the bank with not really a plan for it at the moment, it seems. Command center dropping on down, and we do see a couple of Marines continue to move on out onto the map. I'm just going to be seeing those Zerglings starting to come out through the center, and that's going to be seeing this Queen going to be finishing up on this hatchery in the near future as well. A few Marines moving forwards. I mean, this is 6 Lings, but actually with 4 or 5 Marines here, obviously this becomes a little bit of a different scenario to what I think Gametime is expecting it to be. So just being a lot more aggressive than usually would, because, you know, how often do you actually have 2 racks at this side of the, this time of the game? On this side of the map, you know, on your opponent's side of the map, you know, if it's proxy 2 racks, then sure, but obviously when it's all the way on, you know, souL's main base, you just don't expect it at all. And so Gametime getting caught a bit off guard by this. He'll lose an Overlord now, and that's going to supply block him here. And speed coming up, reinforcements coming up through the center, and Gametime doesn't go to try and shut those down, souL. And up to start at 7 here once again. He gets 1 Ling, now 2 and 3. So starting to pick off a bunch of these, but he's starting to lose his Marines as well. I mean, a couple more going to arrive. I think eventually Gametime has to start trying to shut down the reinforcements. So I guess he's about to get Ling Speed, which makes this kind of much easier, of course, to continue on. As we're going to be seeing this third hatch still under some fire. 1 more Marine up through the center now, as we do see a factory has finished, and double Hellions are on the way. Marines getting towards that choke point for a moment, and oh my god, so many of these Lings are super low, to the point where actually he might be able to finish off 1 more still at the end. Very nicely done. This Marine here gets shut down as well, as a lot of Lings now moving across the map. But the reactor finished, the Hellions are coming out, so they should be enough to defend. As we do see the CC finish too, so it's not like you can force cancel anything here. And at the very, you know, at the most, I think souL's going to have to maybe pull up to the main base, lose a little bit of mine time on the low ground, and that should be about it. But really, I mean, that should be all that really happens, and that isn't too bad. He actually loses a couple of SCVs because of this big Ling counterattack, but it just means that Gametime is making a lot of units and not workers, and so the work count is still kind of within 4 to 6 here. Not too much of a difference between them, as we're going to see those Hellions still chasing another set of Zerglings going down there. Nicely done here by souL to just completely shut this down without really too much trouble at all. So he shuts that down quite nicely and goes into stim behind this now. So that stim's on the way up. As you just see again, a couple of Queens sat out the front, and another medevac on the way out. Baneling Nest is going to be coming in behind this natural mineral line, as these extra Hellions of souL coming up towards the top to see again what they can get up to in the next few moments. Just poking and prodding, looking to try and keep his lead, maybe drive in and get a couple of worker kills. There's still quite a lot of Lings here though, and that's the issue for souL. So Gametime has to use to defend this, and so the Italians will not be able to do a lot. Gametime's work count pretty good, 46 to 33 at the moment. Looks pretty good, as we're going to be seeing the Lings looking for another surround on those Hellions. Still driving onto, running on towards them as the Hellions just try and drive around wherever possible. Going to be seeing 1 Hellion, 2 Hellion picked off there, and the final Hellion will just be pushed away for the moment. will not be able to do anything else. This final Hellion pulls all the way over to the right side, as you see a couple of engineering bays from souL now on the way up towards the natural. So they're finishing up very shortly, as you see a factory onto a tech lab, starport onto a reactor. And we're starting to see drops around the map here with these, well, stim marines. It's a very interesting build from souL, just a lot of pressure early, and from that early pressure you can kind of, keep up the pressure and then eventually keep on, start dropping. And that obviously, just in general, slows down the Zerg a lot and puts you into a great position yourself. It only really works on maps like Catalyst, because obviously on other maps it's very difficult, they're much larger, so it's difficult to walk across the map to get something done. There's now more Lings on the way out, but it is only Lings here initially, as you're going to see the Marines hitting this mineral line. That's 2 free drones going down already. You'll be able to fight these Queens as well. The Transfuse comes down, but now the Transfuse is used. That's 2 Queen kills, and again, already got a few drones, and we'll just be looking for a few more here as these drones actually pull into fight. The Medivacs are starting to go down, but souL still picking up quite a bit of damage as he lifts up once again and backs away through the top side towards the upper right corner. A whole bunch more drones on the way out as Gametime tries to replenish his losses here. I mean, those losses pretty darn huge. 14 drones going down so far, and the efficiency of souL is definitely starting to show. And if we can't put the income graph up, but if we look at the income right now, it's pretty even between the players. Even souL in a slight lead here and there when his mules are being effective. And so really, souL in a fantastic position to start us off here so far in game number 1. Put himself into a prime position to maybe go a game up. I mean, he's not run the game or anything just yet, don't get me wrong, but he's looking strong, he's dictating the pace of the game, and he's the one that's controlling everything. That's always a good position to be in the TvZ, as he targets down each and every one of those veins. Now will lift up and just evacuate out of there, but nice control, and just makes the most of the units which he had available to him. Well, Saturn Marine's going to be unloading once more, as we still see some Marines over to this right-hand side. 2 more Medivacs of souL coming up this right as well to try and just do a little bit more. You'll see already 1 Queen going down, a 2nd Queen too. And a couple of creep tunes, you're going to see those Banes finally being able to get close enough to connect. I just wonder if souL is going to have too much now. As extra Medivacs arrive, there isn't really any Banelings set up and ready, right? And so if souL pushes onto this creep spread right now, and he gets rid of those Morphin Banes, I don't think Lings alone can fight this. Now, the Lings could come forward to buy some time, but that's not necessarily going to be great either. And even with just 6 Banelings, I mean, we've seen souL's target firing so far, it's been pretty good. He's going to scan, and this time he's actually just going to split away, but honestly, if those Banes do the sort of damage they just did, it's not going to be enough, and souL's going to break on through this GG. souL takes game 1 of this best of 3. Game number 2 of this best of 3 series, and down again to the bottom right-hand side, it's our yellow Zerg player. Give it up for Gametime. Top left-hand side, the blue Terran player from OSC Elite. Give it up if you're cheering on souL. Okay then, game 2 of this series, and we are off and away. We're going to see how this is going to be going over the next few moments. Again, what's up in the chat? How's everybody feeling today? Let me know what's going on. If you're enjoying the stream, don't forget to hit that follow button when we go live. See when we go live in the future. As well, of course, if you're really enjoying, you can subscribe to the channel to support me and continue to do full-time esports and casting and stuff like that. So you can check that out too as well if you would like. Something goes a long way to actually supporting the WardiTV Weekly Tournament series, which is of course what you're watching right here, right now. Awesome, right? I know, super awesome. Early opening here, this time from souL is a lot more regular, going to be that Reaper expansion, and the CC, of course, therefore, going to be coming down pretty swiftly down on this low ground location. So going to get that rolling here in just the next couple of minutes. CC dropping on down into play. As we do see the second racks coming up behind this. So actually souL just going to go 2-on-1 in game number 2 here. Let's see how that goes for him as this Reaper pops out. The reactor starts to come down on the barracks. Again, there goes that Reaper down through the center of the map. Crossing away to see what it can get up to in the very near future. This Reaper is looking for trouble. You might be able to find it. We'll find out in a moment or so. Reaper on the way all the way down towards the bottom right hand side of the map here then, and we'll be able to come on in and Well, we're going to start fighting against those few Zerglings, so Ling's already taken a little bit of damage. Reaper's doing a pretty good job of just harassing here a little bit, and well, again, 2-on-1 is going to be aggressive from the get-go from souL. Let's see if Gametime can figure this out and defend it. We'll figure it out. He has done. An Overlord in the main base. We'll see exactly what's being built right now. So, great information here for the Zerg player. Can the Terran player still make this 2-1-1 build order work out? There's a big reason the 2-1-1 kind of was moved away from as a build order choice in the Terran versus Zerg matchup, and it's just because people really did figure it out. They figured it out, they realized kind of, okay, well, this is how it goes, this is what happens, yada yada. And once it's figured out, it becomes a very difficult scenario to kind of really do damage with it, or to stop the Zerg from just abusing it and just doing exactly, you know, perfectly what they need, and while still getting a good amount of drones up. Actually seeing 16, 18 Lings on the way, so actually we're going to be seeing Gametime here is going to get a bit aggressive. And he's going to be pushing Lings across the map to try and pick off some Marines and really just slow down the 2-1-1 before he even gets started. The negative side of this from Gametime is that he is going to have less drones than he might usually have, as that Zergling is going for the Reaper and doesn't quite find it, but maybe in a moment, not quite still, and maybe now. Difficult to know, as we're going to see those Zerglings continue to come up towards the top side, in towards the natural expansion. In a moment or two, perhaps there's another supply depot going to be placed on down to continue setting up this wall off over in this direction. Marines already picking off one of those Zerglings, as they are going to come around here and they're going to be moving through. Going to see one SCV already dropping, and you're going to see the Marines continue to fight. I mean, there's just enough of them here, and they're in a good position as well to minimize the surface area. And this really wasn't enough gained here by Gametime, and now the issue is he's cut workers to not really slow down the attack. So he's going to be in a bit of a worse position when it comes to defending this. He's also rushed up a 2-base left for Spire, which also isn't going to do a lot to defend against Stim Marines and Medevacs super early in the game. And so Gametime is not looking hot right now here in game number 2 of this best of 3 quarterfinal matchup in today's WardiTV Weekly. So going to see those Marines still just sat down in this position, as we're going to see another CC on the way up. Spire on the way out as well here at the moment for Gametime. It's going to be finishing in a moment or two, as we will just see again, Stem also finishing very shortly. The Medevacs are ready to go. 16 Marines perfectly in them. And this first drop is going to be ready to start really dealing some damage in the next few minutes. What's up, Abergrove in the chat saying, well done, Mr. Wardy, on your commentary at WCS Leipzig. Really nice to see you there. Thank you very much for the kind words. Appreciate the support, yo. Glad you enjoyed. However, we have to get back into this game because we do see those Medevacs actually going to go into the main base. Wow. Gametime just has no idea about this at all, I don't think, right? He's not seeing it, he's got no clue. I mean, he knows it's this sort of build, but he doesn't know where the units are, and coming into the main right away, I mean, it just means that souL has so much of a position to work with already. Drones just disappear right now. It's like 6 workers already. Now he's got the Spire under fire, and there's no Baneling Nest to kind of deal with this at all. So if this set of units actually tries to fight, it's not going to go very well. Spire goes down. Okay, some muters were already made, but these Marines cannot be killed if they just sit in this position. Well, I don't know why you would move away from this position, really. He actually just lifts up and leaves now. Maybe feeling that there's too many units on the way out, but even still, it was a pretty solid spot. I guess with 2 more Medevacs on the way, he'll get into a second kind of wave of an attack with 4 Medevacs and towards 30-ish Marines, and that's going to be very powerful too, of course, given how that first engagement went already. Going to be seeing the Marines Santon low just out the front. And obviously with the 2 extra Medevacs here, this is where souL just begins to push all over again. And Gametime not a great spot at the moment. Lost out on quite a lot there in the last few minutes, as you're going to see. Well, now it's a lot of Marines to push through the middle of the map. This creep spread from Gametime going to be, well, progressing forward somewhat nicely. It's one of the negatives about what souL did with dropping in the main base before. He didn't get the opportunity to actually shut down any of this creep yet, but, well, now he'll be able to get a creep team or 2 on his way across, and, well, that third hatch is going to be in trouble. The Bane Nest is still not ready. He hasn't even been able to spend more gas because his Spire's been down, so he's not even been able to build extra mutants to do anything with. And so souL, well, I mean, he's against pure Ling muta here with pure Marine, basically. This does not end well at all for the Zerg. The Lings disappear, the Marines are still around, the mutas are going to go down. GG is called, and souL will move on through to the semi-finals here today where he will be playing against Namshar to see who'll get into that prize money.